Hello, we did a video about points where I talked about the point system, and it's a really good one. Stay tuned. That's to follow. It's going to tell you everything you want to know about the point system in the FedEx Linehaul world. In the video, I made a statement that I'm not sure exactly how the algorithm works. It changed, and I wasn't sure. I don't think anybody's sure. So I went out and I found somebody who was sure. We did an Around the Hub episode with Alex and we're posting that as well. So we'll link it here. So when you're finished watching this video, if you still have questions about points, or you just want some really high value entertainment and get lots of understanding on things in the FedEx system that you should know that you probably don't already know, watch this video. Hopefully we can post it like right here. And that will give you a complete overview of the point system, and you will know how to destroy your competition and make sure that you upgrade your runs and not let any other contractors get those juicy assigned 7-day, 600-mile runs that are all going to be coming out pretty soon. So thanks. In the FedEx ground world, we have a concept known as points, where you can use points to turn your route or run into a better run, earning higher miles, more revenue, and increasing the overall profitability of your business. It's a fantastic way for FedEx ground linehaul contractors to play the game, give FedEx the support that they need, and turn their businesses into more lucrative opportunities, continue to grow, make more money. Now, the concept of points has changed over the years. And recently, we've seen a lot of misinformation when it comes to the points system. So I wanted to clarify a lot of that misinformation here and try to do an overall deep dive into the point system. Let's start off with how you earn points. Every day that your Schedule A tractor dispatches, they get 1 point for that tractor, all tractors. What is a Schedule A run? Well, it's your runs that you own. It's your assigned runs. It's also your unassigned runs. It's not your wild runs, your spare trucks that you're just sending in and going out there and getting miles for the day. They're not attached to your Schedule A. And so you are not getting a point for those runs. You're also not getting one for your spot runs that you're doing unless they've tied those spot runs to an unassigned, typically an unassigned AM run, then you would get the point for that for the day. So when we're thinking about the points, every tractor gets 1 a day. So at the end of a year, every tractor should have 365 points as long as you've dispatched every day. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, my run only dispatches 5 days. Where do the other 2 days come from? Well, you're going to get points for those days. So rather than thinking about it as every day that you dispatch, think about it every day that you don't decline a dispatch. So at the end of the year, those trucks should have 365 points. Now, during peak season, there's 10 weeks of peak season typically where you can earn additional points, where every tractor that operates gets the opportunity to do more miles, typically because it's peak season, and it is an incentive to reward you for doing those extra miles. FedEx will give you additional points, the opportunity to go past a threshold and get more points for those runs. Now, it's important to note, with the point system, you can't move points from one tractor to another tractor. And when we get on to the bidding process, we can talk about what that entails. But every tractor earns points and it stays within that tractor. During peak season, the bonus points that you earn, instead of getting them per tractor, you get a bucket of points. And after peak season's over, typically in February, you can take those points and you can assign all of them to one tractor. You can spread them out however you want. So peak season has always been a very good way to earn additional points. Now, lately, you may have seen my videos and you may have heard me say points don't matter anymore. And I believe that, but let me explain why. In 2019, we changed the system to where with points, it was no longer solely based on the tractor that has the most number of points. The FedEx hub, not station, hub would put out a run for bid, and all the tractors in that hub could bid on that run. And you may have an unassigned team run, you may have an unassigned AM run, you may have a dedicated AM run or a dedicated team. As long as you have a tractor in that hub area, you could use that one tractor to bid on the new run that's available. Doesn't matter if it's AM, team, doesn't matter at all. Unassigned can bid on the dedicated runs. And so it's a great way for those of you who have those unassigned runs to get into the more consistent, higher desirable assigned runs, obviously. And so you can use just the points attached to that tractor. And it was whoever had the most number of points won the run. Whoever wins gives up the run that they were running. So if you have an assigned run and now you've upgraded to a new assigned run, the old run goes up for bid. And now the next week, everybody can bid on that run. If you have an unassigned run and it goes up for bid, then they could backfill it, post it on Build a Ground Biz if the manager of that hub area chooses to do so. And so what happened was they changed the system. They wanted to reward contractors for running a safe operation, for upgrading their tractors, for being on time. So they changed the formula, the algorithm that they use, and it is immensely complicated. And I'm not exactly sure that I'm going to be able to deliver completely accurate information here, but I can get pretty close so you can understand how it works. What we have to do is look at the fact that the points on the tractor account for 40% of your score. 40% is the total number of points that you have. So the tractors that have high number of points, there's still a benefit for that. Now, being on time, your on-time percentage accounts for 20% of that score. The next 20% accounts for your safety score, your SRS score. If you've seen my previous videos, we've talked about a score that goes from 1 to 5. 5 is the best. 1 is terrible. You're not going to get any runs, any new runs. You're not eligible to bid if you're a 1. And then the last 20% is your FCAM, total number of tractors that have the FCAM. At this point now, the vast majority of trucks in the FedEx system have FCAM. Now, there still are contractors that have been running trucks that have been grandfathered in to the system. So they're running trucks, which is absolutely terrifying to me, that don't have FCAM. With those fleets, they're not getting 100% on their FCAM 20% portion of that algorithm. And so they have a disadvantage. Now in 2024, all trucks have to be upgraded and have FCAM have tractor files to be in the system per the new TSPA. So that won't be an issue anymore. The 20% that we are utilizing for the SRS score, if you're a 3, you can't use all of your points for that 20%. So if your total tractor has 1,000 points, so 20% of that 1,000 is 200 points that you can use for that section. Now, if you're a 5, you're using all 200 points. So that's 200 points out of the 1,000, you're using all of them. But if you only have a 3, then you're only using potentially half the points. I'd be lying if I told you I knew exactly how many of those points you're using with the on-time percentage. How of that relates to, it may be an average of all the contractors that bid on the runs or in that hub area. To be honest, I have no idea. And when they changed the system, it changed the game that we had played for so long. Those days of just running absolutely bonkers for peak season, getting all those extra points, making a ton of peak bonus money in the process, dumping them all on one tractor, knowing you're going to upgrade, knowing what all the other contractors have in the hub area, right? Keeping track of them. And so it changed. The value of the points and the value of having trucks with lots of points on it, it's just come down. It's not as big of a deal as it used to be, because you could have tractors with the most number of points, but still lose the upgrade to a tractor in that area who has less points, but has a 5. And has perfect on-time percentage and has upgraded their fleet. In the first 6 months after they had implemented this new system, it was a problem because new contractors who had just added tractors were coming in and taking those good runs. You could game the system and add a tractor right before it's time to bid that would have all those points, but it would have, or you'd start a new business. There's a couple ways to game the system that they removed at this point, because now you have to have that tractor has to have been in, or a contractor has to have been in for 6 months before they're eligible to bid, just to make that a little more fair. So to tie this all together, when we're looking at businesses to buy, when we're looking at the opportunities that exist, points don't matter the way that they used to. The system has changed. And so there's other factors to consider. Would we like an unassigned run with 5,000 points over an unassigned run with 500 points, all things being equal? Yes, of course, take the more points. But gone are the days where we would come along and we're willing to spend twice the market value of an unassigned run, whether it be days, nights, team, who cares? Just something to dump points onto, because we knew it was going to upgrade to a much better run in the springtime when the hub area posts those runs for bid. So the use of points can still be a lucrative way to upgrade your business, but it coincides with your safety plan, your on-time percentage. So it's more about running a much better holistic business in the totality of the business, as opposed to just making sure you dump a bunch of points onto those trucks. Do I see a positive in that? Yes, of course. You have a bunch of contractors that are worried about safety. That's definitely an important thing. But am I nostalgic for those days where it was just hustle and add a bunch of points? Those were some really exciting peak seasons that we had over the years. Very lucrative as well. So that's the point system. If you have any questions, reach out, ask a question in the chat, and we can get more specifics on it. But if you're shopping for these FedEx businesses and someone tells you you have to buy this run or you have to buy this business because of all these points that go along with it, just take note that the system has changed. It could very well be an amazing opportunity, but as long as we're looking at the totality of that business and how it fits into your overall strategy, your growth strategy, then let's just take all those things into account. Thanks. Have a good one.